We've all heard the importance of setting goals in our lives, and most of us have experienced setting goals or New Year's resolutions. Well, today we're going to talk about how to set goals and, more importantly, how to achieve them. We talk about that a lot in our society, about the importance of goal setting. We do New Year's resolutions. That's a big thing. And yet we know that many times we're not successful with accomplishing our goals. So I want to talk about a few ideas of things that you can use to help you be more successful at accomplishing the goals in your life. Leslie Householder wrote a book called The Jackrabbit Factor. I encourage you, all of you, to read that book. You can find it online as an ebook for free, but she does a great job of teaching how to set goals and make those goals achievable in your life. And it starts with, first of all, getting real clear on what it is that we want. Oftentimes, what we want is pretty vague. We haven't thought in detail of what it really looks like or what it would require to create that. For example, we may have a goal that, we want to be happy. I mean, that's pretty vague. We may have a goal that we want to be successful. Maybe we want to be financially free. Well, what does financially free mean? It could mean something different to every individual person. And so the first step is we need to be able to define exactly what it is that we want. And the more clearly that we can see it in our mind and visualize it, the more likely it is that we're going to accomplish that. The next thing that she suggests that you do in setting that goal is to set a date. So it's important to set a date or a time of when you want to accomplish that goal. And then to write your goal statement as if it had already happened. So let's say that you want to set a goal, let's say to lose 5 pounds, and you want to do it in the next 30 days. So today is August 1st. You would set a goal that would say something like, it's September 1st, 2018. So that's the date, and you're saying it as if you're already there. The next step is that you want to be clear on what it is that you want, but you also want to connect emotion into it, because emotion is oftentimes gives us the energy to take action to achieve our goals. And so it's September 1st, 2018, and I feel amazing now that I've been able to lose 5 pounds over the past 30 days. So there's that statement, and then I can add into it things like, I feel so good about myself because I was able to keep my commitment of exercising 5 days a week. I was able to not eat after 6 p.m. each day. And I was able to fill my diet with healthy fruits and vegetables and whatever it is that is part of your plan to achieve that goal. So you create that statement as if it has already happened, and then you repeat that statement at least once a day, if not more. If you really want it to happen, then the more that you can repeat it and state it, the more likely that it's going to happen. So here's what occurs when we do that. When we set that goal statement as if it's already happened, and then we state it, if we will state it out loud, our brain hears it, it goes into our subconscious accepts it, believes it, and looks for evidence in order to make that happen. And as we say it each day, then our subconscious also begins to believe it. And if we have the emotion that's connected with the emotion that we will feel once we achieve that goal, it even makes it more realistic and more believable that we will accomplish that goal. This is something that I have used and experimented with some really big goals in my life. 11 years ago, when we made a decision to open our residential treatment center, this is the process that I used. I created a statement of exactly what it is that we were wanting to create. and I had no idea how we were going to do it. I just knew that we were, and that I would do anything that it took in order to make it happen. So I created a statement that when I read it, I felt it. The emotion was excitement, gratitude of being able to accomplish this. And then I said that statement every single day. And again, I didn't know how it was going to happen. The other tip that I would give you that to me made a huge difference is if I would do even just one thing every single day in moving me closer in the direction of that goal, what would happen is my belief would increase and I would continue to move in that direction. What I found is that if I went a day without doing anything, then my fear and doubt would increase and it would influence me to do less, because when I was in that fear mode, I began to focus on everything that may not happen. I would focus on the things that I didn't want instead of what I did want, and it would cause me to shrink in my behaviors and my action. But if I stayed focused on the outcome that I wanted, the goal that I was striving to achieve, and I would do something every single day, my excitement and belief grew. There would be many times that I would get to a place where I didn't know what to do next, and I didn't see a solution to an obstacle that we were facing. Well, I could still find something to do every day, whether that was doing some research or asking some questions or contacting some people that might have more information. Anything that I could do. It was interesting and amazing how often then new doors would open up that weren't there before. And so I found that if we can create a goal, get real clear on what we want, make a statement that has emotion connected to that, and that expresses exactly what we want it to be like once we have accomplished that goal. Repeat those statements every day, and then each day do a minimum of one thing. I believe that it's possible for us to accomplish anything that we desire to accomplish. Jack Canfield has said that, God doesn't put goals or desires in our mind that we're not able to achieve. Napoleon Hill said, whatever the mind of man can conceive and believe, it can achieve. So those dreams that you have, get them clear in your mind. Conceive of them. Really work on the belief of accomplishing them. Create a statement, say it every day, and then go forward. And each day do one thing that will move you closer to accomplishing that dream. And I know that as you do that, you will be able to accomplish all of the dreams and goals that you have in your life. Thanks for joining us today. Hopefully you found today's information useful to you, and you'll be able to use it to help you accomplish more of your goals in your own life. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again tomorrow.